Hello and welcome. Today I've got some Scavenger gameplay for you, and I have an announcement of my next project. But first, let's do Scavenger. I'm playing on Azadi Palace and I'm using my trusty s-tac 1911. I worked very hard for this gun, so it's going to get used. I am working on using the 44 Magnum more. It's a no-brainer that I should be using it. It can one-shot anybody with a headshot or 2 body shots. It is harder to handle than the other pistols in that you have to make every shot count, as rapid shots with the Magnum will send you aim miles off target. For those who don't know, Scavenger is a game mode that was added in the Aftermath expansion, in which players start with only pistols and have to capture and hold flags while finding other weapons within the maps. I really like this Scavenger mode. It was a good addition to the Aftermath expansion. I understand that it must be getting tough for developers of FPS games to come up with new game modes, especially a mode that fits within the realistic dynamic of Battlefield. In a way, Scavenger feels like a throwback to old school PC FPS games along the lines of Unreal Tournament and Quake, where you start with only a pistol or a poor weapon, and you instantly can be at a disadvantage where other players might have been lucky and finding the great weapons right away. The weapon spawns being randomised was a very good idea on DICE's part. If the weapon spawns were static, you get a match starting and everyone will be sprinting for the MTAR or the PKP to get that initial advantage. The randomisation of the spawns ensure that this doesn't happen and the objectives get played. In recent weeks, I can't remember a single game of Scavenger where the flags weren't being taken and my team wasn't fighting for that win. This is down to the game mode not allowing it to happen. It's very hard to camp an area. Even if you do find a great weapon early on, you're only given 2 magazines, so 3 to 4 engagements later you're going to be dry on ammo and back down to your pistol. And I can't remember the last time I saw an individual or even a squad holding a flag with only handguns. The Aftermath maps complement this game mode perfectly. With all the maps being earthquake damaged, there's lots of debris for cover, which provides many a place for all the weapons to spawn without ruining the immersion in the map's atmosphere. I've always been a fan of the cityscape maps in Battlefield. Back in Battlefield 2, the main bulk of my hours were spent on Striker Carkhand, Sharky Peninsula and Mashtor City. Speaking of which, I was a bit gutted that Mashtor City wasn't included in the Back to Carkhand expansion. I would happily trade Gulf of Oman for that any day. I prefer the city maps, as I mainly avoid vehicles unless they're not being used, in which case I'll do it to help out the team. The city maps are very foot soldier friendly. Having to hoof across a map for 400 meters just to get to an objective on the likes of Caspian border is not very good for gameplay, which is why on those maps I tend to only move between a few close flags, such as Hilltop and Forest, and if there's no action going on there, I will head over to Checkpoint. In the city maps though, while the amount of ground you're covering is close to the same distances, because you're not in a field or running along a highway, it makes for better gameplay as you don't know where the next enemy is going to pop up from, and it makes you play more cautiously, and in my experience, that makes you play better. The Aftermath maps are the perfect size for Scavenger mode, although I would like to see modified versions of other city maps, such as Striker Carkhand or Sharky. I can see them working great with this mode. It's a bit of a pointless wish with Battlefield 3 being close to the end of its life cycle, but I can hope for more Scavenger on Battlefield 4. Well, there you have my impressions of Scavenger, so now onto my next project. On May 22nd, Call of Warriors Gunslinger is going to be released, and I'm going to do a full playthrough with live commentary. The Call of Warriors series has been a bit overlooked in the past, but I've always enjoyed it, apart from the last game, The Cartel. That was a very poor attempt at a modern shooter, but in Gunslinger they've gone back to good old western style. I should have the first part of that up on Thursday next week, and I have the trailer for Gunslinger coming up in just a few seconds. Thanks for watching guys. If you like this, please do hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see that playthrough. But for now, I've been Cracked Fingers, and I'll see you next time.
Peggy 16.